What is up with everybody? Welcome to the final game of the Prem preseason qualifier for ETF2L Season 30. The winner gets it all, basically, and has a chance to get into the Premiership season with the generously sponsored €2,000 prize pool provided by SDN Trading and Scrap.tf. And it's do or die. You will win or you are out. The teams today will be Velocity, EUSports, and Professional Disney Fangirls. The winner gets into Prem, loser gets relegated to Div 1. With me here on production, Wiethoofd on the cam and Georgebaii on the mic.
Hello.
Yeah, your first time here on... Oh no, not your first time, your second time actually. I think the first time was like some Div 2 or 1 final we did together, I think.
Yeah, it was. That was Low Panda and the Bugsy U.
Yeah.
Low Panda win.
Strangely
enough, they're not around for Prem this season. It's sort
of
turned into
they're kinda, if you're being like realistic, but either way, these two teams want to have a shot at the prize pool that three of the 4 teams will get in Prem, and only one of them can make it. Both teams have lost once and won one in this qualifier, and you can only afford to lose once. So this best of 3 will decide who's the winner. And the maps that we put them up for today will be Snakewater, Product, and Gullywash in this order. So we're starting on Snake, then moving over to the Corf map we have on rotation, and final decider, if it comes to it, will be Gullywash. And the picks go... Disney picked Snakewater, Velocity picked Product, and decider was Gullywash.
Yeah, it seems to be quite understandable from both teams to pick those sorts of maps. Snakewater, I mean, if anyone caught the last game between Velocity and the bus crew managed to literally snatch it from the course of defeat with like 6 seconds to spare to get the golden cap, and then they subsequently won that golden cap to get their Prem spot of their own. So it makes sense that Fangirls would pick that. It might point out as a weakness perhaps for Velocity. And then vice versa, we got Velocity picking out Product, which actually in this bracket they haven't lost a single round on. They've had 2 clean 3-0s on Product in both of their games.
Yeah, they look really strong on it last time they played as well, so it is a strong pick for them, sure, but I wouldn't say it's free. We have some Highlander experts on Professional Disney Fangirls, so not just that they know the map really well because of that, they just have good players in general for the map. They have the capability to go double scout sniper just like Velocity does, with an equally capable sniper on Milkman, just as much as Crayon is. So, just because of that, it should not that be easy at all for Velocity, despite it being their pick, I think.
Yeah, definitely a lot of versatility on the side of PDF coming off with all these off classes. From their Highlander experience, a lot of these teammates actually play together in Highlander for Premiership season, so they got a lot of chemistry between them. They played together for a bunch of seasons, so it's definitely there. Velocity's quite a new team, actually. It sort of like has hints, for some reason, of DD5 abs, if you ever saw that. You got like players like News and Ixie on this team. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope with the off classes on here, especially with this first map pick coming up. I mean, they should be reeling for that last loss, really. I mean, missing out on Prem by 6 seconds must surely be a dent to your motivation, but you got to come clean in this map, otherwise they're going to probably struggle later unless they can really deliver the goods on Product, as they have done so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of banner. Both of these teams do use it every once in a while. Olga, I know, is a big fan. We learned last time. I've seen people on Professional Disney Fangirls resort to it every once in a while, so this could easily come into play. And last time it came really clutch in a few situations, where it had a great impact for some of the teams, so I'm looking forward to that. As we mentioned, snipers are certainly a factor to consider, just as I say that somebody could headshot in pre-game, so they're warming up.
They pre-game, of course, the most accurate representation of the actual match.
Definitely.
Anyway, speaking of the rosters, maybe we should run these out for anyone who's unaware of these teams, perhaps. I might start off with Velocity EU per sake. So we got Crayon and Ixie on Scout, we got the French duo of Raph and Olga on Soldier, we got Weatherman News on Dimmerman, and we got Honey or Honey Badger on the medic role.
Yeah, like you mentioned, some of them have experience together, like a triple here, Honey, News, and Ixie have previous Premiership, and like in general, just high-level experience with each other. New additions make Crayon on Scout, Olga, and Rob, the French solid duo that has been doing really, really well for them.
Yeah, big plays can be pronounced for the Frenchman from what I've seen. I mean, Olga, I think, delivered quite... He really wanted that Premiership spot for his team. I think he had like something like 13 air shots in the last map they played. before that eventual heartbreak. But they should be able to come clean in this, I think. I think in terms of predictions, we're going to see Velocity should be able to take this, I think. I think they have a lot more experience together. They are generally the favourites going into this, along with the sponsor as well. So
yeah, but professional Disney fangirls won't make it easy for them. They're fighting for it. CJ made that very clear, and their lineup will be Wheeljack and Toast on Scout, Milkman and Seal on the Solly, and Yak or Joseph as he's known now. Previously he went by Yak. Currently trying to make everybody realize he's switching that. We're just tough in TF2, but certainly not impossible. So Joseph on Demoman and CJ, the Highlander Master on Medic. And like you mentioned, they have a lot of seasons together, not just in Highland, also in Sixes. They play for a really long time with very much a similar lineup to this one. So pretty long-standing team. Finally wants a shot at Premiership. They've played seasons in High or Div 1 for a little bit there, and just making it closer and closer every time. And they want their first season in Prem. If it's this one is to be decided, Velocity won't make it free at all.
Yes, indeed. We've got 12 gamers on the server right now, so we're just waiting for everyone to F4 and ready up to get this game showing the road.
Well, you know how people are, it always takes forever. Wouldn't be a T2 otherwise, but they're probably just figuring out what to do. Velocity had tough time on Snakewater last time. It was a fairly slow game, whereas Professional Disney Fangirls one was a pretty fast-paced one in comparison. Last time they played it against Third Eye, so could be quite the stark contrast, and depending on how ready each other are for the respective playstyles, or not, depending on if they are at all, then this could be over fairly quickly if Professional Disney Fangirls can get the ball rolling, or it will be a really slow, drawn-out game if Velocity can slow down the pace like against Bascool when they last played.
Yeah, it's also worth noting as well that these teams have actually met before in the previous matches of this bracket. They went in the first round, actually. Velocity EU came out the stronger of the two, getting a clean 2-0 sweep against them. They beat them 3-0 on product, keeping their perfect record. And then it was a closer game on Process, actually going forward too, but eventually that went the way of Velocity once again. And that knocked down PDF to the lower bracket.
Process in this. Velocity did. So Velocity was not keen on that Process repeat. They didn't apparently feel too hot on that and wanted to avoid it, which is interesting. Let's see if Snakewater is a better choice. They obviously, as you mentioned, have played on product and Process not on Snakewater. So how that will stack up will be decided here very soon. And I honestly would be looking forward to a Gullywash decider if it comes to it. A match like this, going to Game 3 is always fun, and Gullywash is a pretty fun map at that. It allows for a lot of fun stuff. So I'd be very open for that.
Yeah, Gullywash, of course, very based on momentum play within your team. Just moving up pushes and picks to make sure you get the best position for your team to move into that last hold, which is very claustrophobic from what I remember. But I think, if anything, for a best chance for Fangirls will be on the Snakewater map. I mean, we've seen Velocity, and actually we are going live from what I can see here.
Yeah, so map 1, CP Snakewater for the final Premiership slot. Winner will have a strong look into the second map, so we'll see how that goes as they're both rolling out here.
Yeah, going to be watching Joseph for this bit right now. It's going to come out, I think, around the same time as News. News trying to get an early stick onto him, but eventually misses that. And then the rest of the team starting to move in right now. We've got Velocity on the top left, top right here, trying to make some progress out. We've got Olga trying to deny the Fam and Wheeljack, and actually the first frags will go to the way of, actually a lot of frags going away for Velocity right now. 3 clean kills coming out there. It's suddenly turned the tide of this mid-fight, and Fangirls are going to be forced back right now. You've got Ixie chasing for blood on Joseph here, but eventually he should be able to get out here. He might actually take the fight with Wheeljack, but no. Realizes he's smart.
Oh, CJ is in danger! With one big rocket, he gets juggled out. Joseph doing a lot of work, but he's so weak still. Olga just wants the easy follow-up, and he gets it around the corner. Nice to reinforce Honey, never mind. Medic on medic action, and that is a big one. Chase going successfully to Velocity. Strong mid-start to get this big Fangirls. Committing a little bit too hard though for the new skill, and eventually backfight on the Toast in the backlines. Sneaks up to Honey, does not get the force out of him. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, but now Velocity with full numbers here coming into this last hole with a huge Uber ad actually. I think CJ, he actually got killed by the med there, so it's going to be a huge Uber ad here for Velocity. They're going to be walking in on this right side. Olga jumping in with the Uber, trying to get onto Yak right now. He's going to be forced back in spawn, and the rest of the team has positional advantage right now up top. We've got Ixie literally walking in on this cap right now. Billjack's trying to deny, but this cap is just too much, and that's going to be the first round for Velocity.
Mighty surprising to me. The Uber didn't catch much. It's just a very free rotation. Nothing much that was contesting them on the left side, but just the Sollies distracting up top. Completely cut off Disney Fangirls from the point, and somehow Velocity was able to sneak away with this. Quick first round, 2 minutes to start things off with.
Yeah, coming into next phase, I'm going to be watching Olga actually, because like you said, the soldiers were really strong on the midpoint, getting those crucial kills at the start there. So he's going to be sticking top right to try and deny the advancing scout of Toast right now. He's going to try and deny that spam, but a huge bump in actually from the side of DuMmTm trying to get in now, and he's eventually going to get cleaned up by Olga. But a lot of frags now on the side of the Fangirls coming in, 3 quick kills now onto the scouts and Demoman as well, and now Raph is going to be caught out here surely. He actually gets a clean-up kill onto Seal there, but not enough to save that mid, and he does get out, however. He's still going to have that Uber charge with him as Fangirls take this midpoint.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what they wanted to do more than anything on the last minute, just in reverse. Last time, Joseph started to push over the point and then everybody followed and got mildly destroyed for it. This time, the Solly starting and he was able to put in the damage onto weak people and to a much better result, cleaning up 4 people in total. Last one, obviously, was just not able to leave at all. And much more effective with the mid fight this time. However, like you mentioned, no word for last, so the snipers are already on the field, trying to be the stalemate breaker of choice for both sides here, to be able to get some safe kills from the backlines. And with Qual and Milkman, we have 2 very capable snipers on the field, so that would be an interesting matchup who gets the better end either of each other, or just stays outside the other one's sideline to be able to pick off people that are completely unaware. And Seal already peeks around the corner, not taking a shot here on Crayon's end, so yeah, certainly aware that snipers are on the field. And if they weren't before, Ixie is checking on the spy class, as you luckily can for a lot of situations like these. So they are not playing into that sideline at all on Velocity.
Yeah, the winning one pick is all you need to try and take the positional advantage in here. And now, eventually, Wiltshire will get the pick onto Crayon there, tagged up as Envoy. So that's going to be a signal now for Fangirls to try and take some space into this left side here. You've got Seal trying to finally spots Raph on the left side, but eventually it's going to be forced back, trying to wait for some more support. And it looks like it's going to be a shutter push here from the side of Fangirls. We've got the respawning Crayon in soon, so we've got to be careful not to lose this numbers advantage too soon. And they're going to be gradually creeping on this left side here. Seem a bit hesitant actually. They're all stacked up here, not looking to try and commit too many bodies here to this push. And eventually I think they're going to have to reset.
Yeah, they changed their mind there. They got Raph really weak with just the flank players alone, and then they wanted to rotate everybody in there. But it took such a long time. The sniper was back up, and at that point you're just risking staying in this tight line. And yeah, like you mentioned, Crayon Spy. Which is interesting. Usually it's one of the Sollies that goes spy for them, but now it's Crayon. Maybe in the hopes that they still expect the sniper, which allows him to just sneak away right in front of Milkman's sideline. He does not know what's going on, but that doesn't make it easier to get onto CJ quite yet.
He's going to declick right now, he's going to get onto CJ, he sees the tag and he gets the drop onto CJ, that is a med down, and Crayon goes down as well, but of course the med pick is totally crucial for this next push, so you're probably going to see Velocity right now, trying to take some space.
Ooh, Vilcek is hiding, I like that, that's something that they kind of need, even if he doesn't get it, he could buy enough time, which could be coming in very clutch. So let's see if Velocity is aware of that. So far they aren't, they're trying moves really slowly, but they are. Olga also on the buff banner, worth mentioning, as it does allow for a complete lack of
Vilcek's going
damage.
in, on last, there's no sticks to help it. Going to be, you can test by the soldier, but it's not enough. And Viljack stealing that round for Fangirls there. It's going to be tying up the score 1-1. Excellent play from him, but Velocity, they should have really checked on those areas. I saw no one go shutter when they were pushing out.
Yeah, just completely caught off guard by that and quickly tied up once again. 5 minutes off the clock, and again, both with one on the board. And Disney stays in this. Let's see what they can make happen on this bit fight now.
Yeah, Fangirls won the last bit, remember, with those 3 quick kills, and we got Raph jumping in very early on the left side here, trying to get spam on DuMmTm. But now the rest of the positional advantage is going to go the way of Fangirl. Eventually the first frag is going to go out the way of Velocity there, with DuMmTm going down. And that's going to be a straight up summer longer to try and clean up the rest of it. And eventually Fangirls are forced off with 3 down. It's very mirrored mid fights, as we said. We've always seen like 3 players go down. We've seen the chase later from the Velocity players. So it's quite interesting how these mid fights are panning out.
I almost didn't see a sticky trap that was right below his feet, but didn't luckily matter for him. But yeah, like you mentioned, quite a different story this time. Velocity having a lot of presence up top, taking the picks. Speaking from up top, Olga goes up high, get into CJ's face, and he gets close, but not quite enough.
The drop!
It is! Gets the drop onto CJ. They had so much time and it still wasn't enough. CJ goes down, and in that position I can understand why he didn't want to use. That should have been a dead Olga long ago at that point. And that won't make them happy for much longer either, because Velocity already on the move to get into lobby.
Nice pipe there from News as well, cleaning up the Miltron. So that's going to be 2 players down. Well, they're dropping CJ right there. We see, I think Olga was demanding some respect from the side of Milchman, but he denied it. Another Super's going to come in on the right side for Velocity right now. Very heavy scout hoovered, a lot of flashes going on their side, and not much point of presence right now, but eventually going to get the scout capping up. Crayon getting a lot of time, and eventually no presence there from Fangirls to counter that. And that's going to be a second round for Velocity.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Disney Fangirls went really close once the Uber was still on, and once the Uber was off, they were forced to retreat, and you kind of want the opposite. Being able to avoid the Uber and then get on the point once you can actually deal damage to them, but it was quite the opposite, which is quite a shame because, yeah, or Joseph, maybe not denied, but distracted quite a bit on the Uber charge and still got out scot-free to spawn again, which would have been nice, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, on the back of this, we got Fangirls showing some more heavy aggression on the right side, it seems. We're going to have to try and get some denial spam onto this platform area. Raph now jumping in with Crayon trying to take some spades as the rest of the team looks forward. We've got Ixie getting the first pick on the Joseph there, and another pick onto Wheeljack as well, so that's 2 kills for him. And he's going to be chasing CJ. He gets another clean-up kill. Excellent stuff here from Ixie, getting the 3k from there. And he could maybe develop some more. No one's actually spotted him yet. He's going to get onto this toast now. That's a 4k. Excellent stuff from Ixie. Literally solo winning that mid there.
Yeah, but still at a steep price, Honey did go down as well. So mid it is, but probably not much more. And the Solis want to change that even, and they do get some kills. Olga trades with Milkman there, but that's about it. He's kind of weak, needs some help to get out of there in the first place, but Care Point will still go to the red side of things for now. Honey spawning on the crit squeak, which is interesting in this situation. Will give him quite a bit more air than otherwise. And nobody is with CJ either after the spawn, so the air would have been there, but now it's even bigger with the crit squeak. Speaking of the contest, that is exactly what is happening.
Yeah, Velocity seem determined to try and retain this mid advantage here, and half cap now for Fangirls trying to take some positional advantage, but Steel's going to go down to the side of Crayon there, and eventually they're going to have to be forced to retreat eventually. With the rest of the Velocity players looking to try and get some position into grass perhaps on this right side. We've got the soldier stacking up right now, and CJ on the point alone with the rest of his team right now. Olga with a big roll in onto Toast there, not getting much. And the crit sticky's coming out now, not managing to get anything, and I think it will remain that way. We've got Yak Mills to get an exit pipe onto one of the Velocity players, and Raph as well.
That is huge, that allows such an easy entry here. Nice attempt by Milkman, trades with Ixie, which held that 3 down effectively. Ooh, Toast going a little bit too close for comfort there. News pipes him down. The crit was really close to actually being successful. News just ever so slightly dead his stick too early. CJ would have backpedaled into it, but he didn't see that from across the entire second point. So CJ, unaware on his own now, got barely away with it and has this Uber now, but they need to get results here, otherwise Honey can just recontest with Uber.
Yeah, Fangirls definitely need to take some sort of aggressive stance here with this Uber. They know they have crits, it's going to be coming up soon actually for Honey, so open this up some opportunities potentially in the store area if these Fangirl players are all going to stack in here. Yeah, a lot of players now coming in on the side of Fangirls. They're probably going to expect some sort of pushing in. They've got News waiting for the queue with the crits on this point area, while Yak tries to get some suppression stickies. And potentially trying to get some players into the bank there. We've got Toast looking on the left side. The rest of the team trying to take their appropriate positions on here. Not many people watching the kitchen area as well. That could be an area of attack for the side of Fangirls. So got a lot of spam coming in. And actually the Uber does come out on the side of CJ. Crit still not popped on the side of Honey here. So probably could re-enter this with huge crits if they're able to.
News goes down. That is pretty big against that though. 15 seconds. Even Wheeljack gets behind them too.
The Olga crits right now coming in, he immediately gets a pick onto Toast. Crayon also gets a pick onto Milchman, and a lot of frags going to the side of Velocity. It's just seal up, and he's like trying to get into the saw area. He's going to be fighting Raph. Actually gets the extra frag onto him, but that's a full wipe for the side of Fangirls off that initial crits aggression.
At the cost of Honey's life, the one thing that you kind of expect out of the enemy team once your crits is being popped and they are aware of it, they will try to kill either the one that is shooting the crits or the one having the crits when it comes of the medic in this case, and that's exactly what happened. They just all tried to kill Honey as quickly as they could, at the cost of their own lives, sure, but it prevents Velocity from going any further with this anytime soon. Kind of even uber realistically, it will be slight advantage to Honey depending on how effectively they do build off of the 25% faster build rate of the crit speak, but we can already see it's gone up to 15%, it's just rising. Graph is on crits during on spy during crits. This is interesting. I'm curious to see what the idea is here. Maybe they just want to get CJ out of the picture and it has nothing to do with it, or they just want to get a bad push out of them and back up with the spy. Both is certainly possible.
Yeah, so some sort of bait potential here, but I think Raph is going to be setting his eyes on CJ right now. None of the team is looking behind him at the moment. We've got a field deck looking back now. The crits is going to be used on the side of the news here, trying to get onto the right side, but the Raph distraction as well, trying to get onto CJ. The pick goes to his way. That's going to be a medic down for the side of Fangirls, and they'll be looking to reply with some aggression.
On the stickies.
But the huge
everybody just jumped into it. That is around. Holy moly.
That was something from News getting that kill there, as well. Raph as well with that distraction.
Yeah, that was a huge distraction play with that. They just made it seem like they wanted to get everything but CJ with that crits, and in the end that was what they were looking for as well, but it made CJ feel free to be able to stand where he is until something comes close to him, and everybody else went away, so the spy had a super easy time getting close, and everybody just jumped at sticks that were not aimed for the medic at all, but instead for everybody coming his way, and complete destruction there from Velocity, and going into the next mid-fight now.
Yeah, Velocity looking to be more confident on these mid-fights right now, and they're going to be walking forwards for Pixie, immediately getting the kill onto the DuMmTm. That's going to be a soldier down for the side of Fangirls, and Seal's up top right now, probably going to get isolated by Crayon. Indeed, he does go down, so that's 2 picks. We've got Toast behind though, on very low HP. He's just slipping in onto Honey, nearly gets the frag there. There was 1 meat shot at least, but not going to be enough. 2 players up. I think CJ's trying to run for his life right now. We've got Olga, probably looking for blood right now, trying to jump in on this area. He's going to juggle CJ up and lose with the cleanup pipes onto CJ. That's a medic down. That's going to be no heals for the side of Fangirls, and they're still sacking in players. That's another 2 players down. Velocity are looking to roll this.
They were so hesitant to leave Vilchek and CJ there. I think they relied on Toast to make something happen, and just didn't want to leave early, because if he did something, like, they wanted to be there to recontest, but it just led them to die super early here. Or super late, I should say, and the point is already being played by Kern. They have to use so late on Velocity with this Uber on to last, and just things melting in their faces. 3 up on the Disney Fangirls left, and those are being picked up one by one right now. Next man, last man standing, and that is it. Really quick round from Velocity, doing pretty much all the right things, and Ixie is such a trouble for Disney Fangirls on these mid-fights.
Yeah, just having the tendency to walk forwards and literally just fan down anyone in his wake for delivering big kills. But yeah, Velocity really played that really well. Like, I think nearly perfect, especially on that last poke. Just like perfect focus fire, bringing everyone down. So 4-1 now for the side of Velocity. They're going to be close to actually seeing this map in 2 rounds if with luck. You're going to see News right now trying to get some stickies onto Joseph, while the rest of the Fangirls trying to figure out something to do. They're going to have both of their flanks players stacked out on the right side. Olga actually trying to walk in and get some frags of his own, and it's going to be initial frag advantage for now round for Velocity. It's going to be a scrappy fight on this grass area, and we've got Olga coming in late onto Seal there, getting the cleanup, and Raph following up afterwards, another French soldier, and that's going to be CJ down as well. The air arrow from Honey literally getting easy damage onto DuMmTm there, and he's going to get cleaned up by Raph. And that's going to be easy mid-win there for Velocity.
Yeah, slow start, and then all of a sudden, just Velocity players coming from all directions, just from bottom, from top, taking the fight to professional Disney Fangirls, and they just couldn't deal with it in this case, and that worked out just fine. And once they had them on the back foot, everything goes just according to plan, catching people off before they're able to get anywhere close to being out. Velocity taking another mid-fight now, 4-1 lead already with full Uber ad into last, sentries being built. Sniper up for last. They need something big now to be able to defend this.
Yeah, especially with the round deficit currently 4-1 down, so they're going to be looking to try and get some key picks and potentially get a bit more aggressive. Like, they're going to be in very desperate territory. And then again, Velocity are going to be delivering on this right side push. A lot of flashes coming out from Honey right there, and both 2 players are actually locked in the spawn with Yak and Toast getting knocked down there. A lot of cap time on the side of Velocity right now. It's going to be a very hectic fight in this last. A lot of carnage coming out on the side of Fangirls, actually getting a lot of picks of their own, and this should be eventually cleaned up by DuMmTm. Eventually DuMmTm dies to his own rocket, but it's going to be only Honey surviving.
Yeah, really nice defense. We're able to deal with the point pretty cleanly there, not getting in too much danger while trying to clean up whoever was on the point, not taking a lot of damage, which is what you want to rely on as the attacking team for sure. So they avoided that pretty nicely, kept CJ safe, have the Uber here as well. don't want to have to use here, but they might. Raft causing some trouble in the backlines already. Backup probably on the way, but it's not the only play happening. Olga as well in, gets the force, so 2 plays at the same time are what brings the success here in the end. Raft is being contested. Cap will still go Disney's way, but at the cost of an Uber charge, so it all went more or less according to plan for Velocity. Raft eventually clean up, but on this much Uber, it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, a lot of players still got players surviving on the side of Velocity. They got this huge round out, so they could probably take their time to deliver some sort of push. We've got News in quite deep onto the Saw area right now. Uber's going to be ready on the side of Velocity with this huge Uber round actually. Going to be probably pushing out into this midpoint. We've got both Soldiers and Fangirls trying to deny any sort of space that the Velocity tries to take. We've got Olga in, I think, jumping in pretty big on the top right now. He's going to be getting as much rockets as possible in. Eventually he's going to be forced up on low HP. A lot of players in kitchen actually for the side of Velocity. No Uber's popped yet. Eventually he's going to get caught off of the Crayon. He's going to try and aim for CJ. DuMmTm taking a long time to kill this medic, has to be said. This but eventually gets cleaned up by the pistol there. And he's going to actually clean up Buildjack as well. So eventually it's going to be nice stuff there from Crayon.
Good idea. Maybe not the cleanest execution, but it works out in the end, getting all the kill they want. Except Toast. He's able to win that little fight there against Ralph, but I don't think they can be too mad about that, because they were not pushing with full numbers. They were super concerned about a potential backup, which makes sense given the situation and how they did it to professional Disney Fangirls a number of times now. So they had two just in the backlines waiting for something to happen, but that kind of never did. So it made the fight up front a little bit harder, but Qual pulled through and eventually even got a second kill on top of that, despite struggling with the medic one. So made it his and second on top of that little Uber ad here, which is coming really handy now because of the CJ kill. They will keep up the advantage for last. Again, Sentry being built, sniper up, last defense, just like last time. And they were able to do it once, but you don't have to, or you don't want to be in the situation over and over again, because it just means you're not really getting anywhere. So being able to defend this is nice and all, but needs to go forward elsewhere than just here.
Yeah, well, you were saying that Ixie got cleaned up initially from, I think, from one of the soldiers, and then Steel tried to go for a counter sec, but didn't quite work out. So, I mean, actually going to see an Ixie sniper. It might have been a sack, actually, to try and get best off-casting opportunity. But Olga's actually going to get picked off by Joseph in the exit as well. So
that might actually be big, depending on if Olga was on the banner yet or not, because that would just delete all his progress. If he wasn't, then he has the opportunity to switch off to it now. Let me check what he's spawning on. He's spawning on nothing, which is weird. He tends to be the last banner kind of guy. So none of that's just now, and only the sniper clan being what is being relied on. And it's putting in some work, getting nice shot onto Wiethoofd. That's a Snark silhouetting around the corner if somebody peeks it, but Crayon with the awareness does not go through Ixie. Still trying to make something happen. Crayon just taking matters in his own hands for over.
Yeah, eventually gets picked up there by DuMmTm in that fight there, and Velocity seems set on trying to make space for Ixie right now, trying to get in some sort of way into the left side here. It's eventually going to be denied by these soldiers, I think. A lot of spam coming the way, and actually DuMmTm get picked off by a nice pipe there from News.
Yeah, and pipe and headshot, I think, as well. Just double combo there of 100 and 150 damage at the same time. That kills the player pretty quickly, and it just allows the situation where they're just peeking in from the wide open door here over and over again. Professional Disney fans have to be so careful about this.
The unit has come out, actually, on both teams.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sentry just up in the middle of the point, just quickly rotated out by Velocity. Professional Disney Fangirls just have to see it happen, and that is pretty much it. Uber's out of the question, and without a banner, they don't really have much going for them right now.
We're still getting picked up underneath right now from the spam from Crayon and Honey and the rest of the team. And looking to try and probably make their way in. They're going to see Ixie maybe trying to get a more deeper peek into this right side as the rest of Fangirls try to build a super up. And it's going to fix Ixie trying to get a sight line onto Buildjack right now. The rest of the team trying to flood in on this left side, trying to take as much space as possible, but eventually it's going to cost Crayon's side. And Buildjack with a nice headshot on there onto Ixie. He's going to be trying to force everyone back. Yak also doing a good job there with some denial stickies there.
Yeah, that was an attempt, I guess, at just taking the fight on Uber again in a similar way this time, but not quite happening. Disney Fangirls on the push out. Olga wildly trying to contest Raph as well, putting in some work behind. He's so weak, but he's on the point. Seed is there in time, cleans him up. Distracts a little bit, only 2 on the point, and Velocity's in with the contestation here. And they get the drop onto CJ Olga once again, getting away with it. Connie just popped for good measure. Clean up the rest of them.
Yeah, just eventually Fangirls get invinced at that second point there. He had Olga buying time for his team, and the rest of them just flooded in from the right side and just literally cleaned him up. And this should be a round, I think, for the side of Velocity. Complete wipe for the side of Fangirls there. They're going to be on map point.
Either in defense of Disney or in huge props to Velocity, either way you want to put it, but I don't see how CJ would not have to at least get forced there, so the drop obviously unfortunate, but that was a really nice position to be able to contest from with the backup distracting people. So at best for Disney Fangirls that would have been a bad Uber exchange for them, where they would have to leave. This just speeds up the whole process for the Velocity and gets them in the lead 5-1. Match point now.
Yeah, coming in potentially it's the last bit of this map right now. We've got Milsham with a deep bomb in, trying to get to Honey, and actually Seal with the cleanup rocket onto Honey, and a lot of frags going the way of Fangirls. It's just general carnage. 2 players up with the side of the Disney Fangirls. Got Yak and Toast alive. Eventually Ixie will get the cleanup onto Toast. It's just going to be Yak alive, and he's looking to get back to spawn. So this should be a mid-win before Velocity of that. Very hectic team fight there.
Yeah, very aggressive, and Joseph wants the demo fight and he wins it! Just jumping into him with a pipe. And takes Noose's life. Demo man down. Might seem kinda just silly, but given the situation, it actually is quite decent. So spawners can just come in, the demo man can't deny anything, no traps to worry about, no anything. It's nice, not anything huge pushable, but at least one less thought of your mind with the demo man already being on second, probably thinking what's the traps, so none of that business on the field right now. Still slight add to Honey due to different death times, and that might or might not matter, but it doesn't look like Disney Fangirls care.
Yeah, the rest of them walking in right now. Milsh's going to be first picked up there on that deep bomb onto Honey, I think, and the rest of the team is going to go down right now. Another 2 frags going the way of Velocity. That's going to be 3 up right now, and they're probably looking hungry.
Ralph gets CJ kill, he just jumps straight in.
Very good stuff
from him. He is behind them, but he's also being spotted really early, gets denied pretty hard. I would criticize that play, but professional Disney Fangirls more, if not for the time. They don't have much of that left, and that makes it far more understandable why they would go for just a try push like this. That is not safe at all.
Yeah, now crucial times right now for Fangirls. They need to save this to try and save the map, but it's not looking that's going their way. A lot of players trapped in the spawn area. We've got some stickies from Yak trying to deny it, but eventually the cap time's going to go away with Velocity. That's going to be the first map to them.
Yeah, very dominant performance by Velocity at times, and they're getting ready for their map pick. So it's not looking too good for professional Disney Fangirls, but can't count them out here. The product is certainly no stranger to them. So let's, before we talk anything else in terms of predictions for the future, let's go to the logs real quickly. And yeah, that was something, like at moments Velocity was just completely dominating them. And it just was a big difference in terms of what both teams were able to do. Disney Fangirls had the moments, but they needed many more of them.
Yeah, immediately from what I've seen from the logs, the scouts shining for the side of Velocity there. We got Crayon getting a total of 25 kills. Yeah, and also...
huge kill difference, holy...
I just saw that as well, 90 to 46, that is a very big shift in between teams.
Yeah, the only thing that brought Disney Fangirls in a hugely winning position, and I'm probably wrong with this, but at least I'm not that far off, I would imagine, but there wasn't many situations outside of that winning round for Disney Fangirls where they made it anywhere past mid, I want to say, which obviously how this game went, we just saw it shouldn't be that surprising, so just goes to show how much say Velocity had in this and how much control they had. And yeah, the scouts, obviously, we mentioned both Ixie on mid and Crayon in general, on both scout and a little bit of sniper. He didn't really do anything, but sometimes you don't really need to. Ixie was obviously the main sniper here and putting in a little bit more work. So both of them having a really strong game and just denying people time and time again. Ixie just walking over people on the mid fights. Really strong showing by everybody there.
Yeah, looking at these heal stats as well. A very strong showing there from Honey. I don't know if it was because CJ was dying a lot, but managing to get out a total of 6k more heals than CJ, and CJ managing to drop 3 times and only get a total of 3 overcharges out. So, very desperate showing from that team, has to be said, and especially going into Pro, that they're going to be really on the receiving end of this, considering Velocity have basically perfected this map during these playoffs.
Yeah, CJ needs more survivability, and it's always hard to decide just without taking a much deeper look into it. What is the exact cause of like that many medic dives? We had a few ones that were obviously just really well planned out by Velocity, just like the spy one, for example. But apart from that, that was not alone the cause why CJ died like 5 times more than Honey did, 3 to 15 in comparison. That was a few of them, but by far not all of them. So that is such a big factor here for product that just wastes so much time if your medic constantly dies that they need to be able to work on very quickly. They don't obviously have much time on a map like product.
Yeah, I think in order for Fangirls to try and have a chance at this map, I think the soldiers need to step it up at the heels a bit. We didn't see much of a showing from them, and on this map, it's very based around how much initial damage your soldiers can do for your scouts. So they really need to step up their game, and I think they'll are in a good position themselves.
Also important is the sniper factor, because Velocity, we've seen before, rely on double scout sniper, and that is their thing of choice. I'm not 200% sure about professional Lucifer yet, but I think they certainly do it too at times, not all the time. But we saw Milkman sniping, he's certainly capable. There we go, just another pre-game headshot to just make that point clear. So both teams want to have a say in the sniper fight, and Milkman had a decent showing. He didn't just let Ixie and Cryon run supreme here, so that could change the outcome, just Milkman having an insane game.
Yeah, Milkman obviously known for its sniping in Highlander, so probably should come to fruition in this map, depending if the Fangirls want to use this sort of strat. I mean, sometimes if you're juggling in general and your sniper's just getting focused a lot on this map, you generally want to run something different, otherwise you're just going to get rolled 3-0, it seems.
Yeah, a lot of factors coming in for this map, and you mentioned the Solis. It really is a matter of your style, basically, you want to have here. We talked about the snipers a lot, but Solis obviously mean a lot as well, especially for mid fights. If we think back to the Basku Velocity game, Basku never used the sniper, they always tried with the double Solis. And for mid fights, we've seen it be probably the superior choice in that matchup, at least. Argument can be made for in general, so Velocity didn't opt to do that at all. They still went sniper to mid every single time. And it made the mid fights kind of hard because they just couldn't establish that much of an offensive presence at the beginning of the round. Only later on, once the sniper had a slow situation on his hands. So maybe Disney Fangirls can make use of that and just get to a good position early on with a strong mid fight, with Solis just putting in a lot of work early and then switching somebody off later on down the road.
Yeah, indeed. We got 12 gamers in the server right now, just waiting for them to get ready.
Otherwise, we saw crits. Honey is certainly one of the medics of the mindset of once a game a crit, they won't see it coming kind of deal. Kind of like Raptor, who, especially on the losing end, likes to go crits in like even worse situation where like both medics died or something. Honey of a similar mindset, it seems. So maybe that will have a factor here again. Obviously, last time they could take much more time with the crits play on that last push and plan it out much more, and product certainly won't allow for that much. So it would need to work immediately or not at all.
It seems that way, yeah. I think if you're in shoes of Velocity right now, you've got to be feeling confident right now. You haven't lost a round in this map so far these playoffs. You've won your first map, you're one map away from stealing that slot in the Premiership. They've got to be feeling ultra confident for this map, surely.
Yeah, but Disney can't let that get to their head. That's just like admitting defeat. Sure, it will be difficult, but you can't go into this game just thinking you already lost. You need to stay optimistic here, and otherwise you just don't have a chance in general. So just staying in it mentally is so important. Alright, we're just waiting for gamers to arrive. We heard about some technical issues from production, not on our end. I mean, we had those too. Everybody probably saw that, but hey, that's resolved. We're meaning technical issues on players' part. I don't know if you know that glitch, George, but like So, you know, TF2 is just weird, and like there's a glitch that can cause the rocks not to appear on product, like visually, obviously, just but still.
It's like it's a game that's almost 10 years old.
Something stupid will always be found. But that is such a stupid glitch as well, because it just gives you like a sideline. Sure, it's not a huge one. Like, you can't physically do anything with it. It's not like you can shoot through the rock, but like, you can still see through it. There's not too much like insane knowledge to be gained from that, because in most situations you should know what is behind rock, but still, you can just see more, and it seems so weird. And why is that possible?
Yeah, you can get some spooky graphics errors from these games. I can see sometimes it's just like you get big error signs everywhere or similar. But yeah, it's amazing how much these sort of bugs have developed in the lifespan of this game that we all know and love.
I just love these stupid glitches that make stuff not like render, so stuff's invisible, so you can see through things, and like that is such an unfair thing. And one day somebody will abuse that. Let's just put it that way. I can already see the dark time coming where somebody just tries to force that glitch onto their game. And nobody can prove it, because, like, how would you?
Just imagine some sort of Star Wars scenario, like you must use this texture glitch to have an impact on your games.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, otherwise there'll be plenty of ban posts.
I mean, people already make drama where they can, because where else is the fun? But hey, Olga's here. His game has rocks now, which is relevant, I guess.
Yeah, 12 gamers on the server, just waiting for everyone to press that magic key on their keyboards for about F4. I'm hearing noise as well, and the countdown, so that means we are live.
Second map of the evening. Match point for professional Disney Fangirls to stay in this and get another shot on map 3, or for Velocity to just close this out in 2 maps. Product is the map of choice, King of the Hill. Let's go.
Yeah, very fast rollout there from Yak, trying to get some initial damage onto the side of Velocity. Velocity seemed a bit more hesitant actually to take space right now. Really waiting for that cap time availability, and already we're seeing DuMmTm sniper on this clip area. Now switching to try and get a more sight line in. I think Crayon may be doing the same thing as well, and he's going to ring out the first headshot onto the Yak there. That's going to be a player demo man down with the side of Velocity, and then a double sticky kill there for News as well, picking up Toast and CJ. That's no heals from the side of Fangirls. The rest of Velocity now trying to walk forwards, trying to seal this mid off, but it's actually quite an even fight. 3 players on both sides, despite the heals on the side of Velocity. DuMmTm in this China area, trying to get some general headshots in. Not quite happening right now, as at the moment it's just 2 players that the respawns are eventually coming in. But it's quite extended mid-fight, it has to be said.
Milkman with another one. Yeah, that was actually pretty smart to go over to Connector to avoid both the sideline and Seal, who they know was on the other side of the point. So it avoided both dangerous positions there for quite a time. Not for long enough though, eventually people went down, Loose dying pretty late here as well. And eventually contestant with the Uber is on hand, but CJ gets out of that with his life. Only about a 10% advantage. They're able to get the point with this, and the 2 kills that just help. Seal dying really late here as well. Makes matters a little bit more fleshed out for them. Milkman still sniping, so is Crayon on this mid fight, which obviously goes to show how slow that was, because both teams wanting to rely on that sniper. Ooh, Crayon took quite the shot that does stay alive. So, sniper fight it will be on this map.
Yeah, eventually these first picks are going to determine the course of these mid-fights. Got DuMmTm on the right side now, trying to get some scanning in onto one of the scouts there. It's actually Olga. I guess sight on Honey as well, but eventually Crayon's going to pick him up, and actually Raph gets a kick onto skill as well, so 2 players down on the side of Fangirls. They're trying to reply with a frag of their own onto Ixie to try and get this point, which they do cap it actually, and the Ubers are going to come out from both teams right now. Billjack's going to get the main brunt of it, trying to get up to Crayon's position right now, trying to get some shot. The hand comes out, eventually it's going to be the clean up onto him. As the rest of Fangirls try to regroup a bit off this, a lot of players scattered on both teams, it has to be said. We've got Raph in there, in main right now, trying to get some sort of purchase onto the team.
Speaking of
Raph, underneath gets this brief view onto Honey, but not quite, doesn't have quite the reactions to break it.
Slow in the, really smart in the even situation, just sitting back at the grass, or roughly there, and just spamming onto the point, forcing CJ a little bit earlier, help them get this better end of this Uber exchange with the slight bit over, and the fight keeps going. Toast going on to News, but he pipes him down before he dies himself. Raph goes in deep, gets CJ. Lots of trouble though for Honey as well. Seal takes him out. Lots of fighting here. Contestant argument can be made for work. They have more numbers standing right now with the better respawns, so they get a slightly better end here for now, but obviously they still need to get on it. No heals on Velocity right now.
Yeah, damage limitation there from Sealed getting that pick on the Honey, but a lot of that push really depended on News getting that damage we did, getting those 2 clean kills, I think, as the rest of the team tried to get the cap time. And now Fangirls are going to require the cap their end. Quite back and forth so far, but a huge time advantage at the moment for the side of Velocity right now with a full minute lead. And they're going to try and regroup on this left side right now. They're going to take some space in. Got Ixie taking the main body heals, but a headshot there from Milchman is going to kill any sort of aggression there from Velocity. And Raf goes down as well on the flank to Viljack. Still trying to take some position onto this back area.
Oh, Ixie gets straight into CJ and the sniper, and that moment could save it quickly enough. And get Medicani stays alive, and suddenly everything looks so much better for professional Disney Fangirls taking. Not for professional Disney Fangirls, for Velocity even. Sure, they got the point of Disney Fangirls, that's what I wanted to say. But for how long, Bigman still hits some shots. Like we mentioned, it will be a sniper fight, and at the moment, Bigman is the one winning it.
And actually, we do have an Olga Pyro to try and get some sort of aggression out on here with this Wiltshire sniper. I think he's generally warmed up, he's getting a lot of kills right now, so Olga's looking to try and sort of suppression fire here. He's going to get knocked down to low HP as the rest of Velocity tries to walk forwards here. Going to be trying to deny that pyro aggression, and Olga's going to walk forwards with this Uber onto the left side of the CJ, trying to close these players down. Eventually, he's going to get his kill, surely. Eventually he does, and the cleanup, I think, onto the scout as well, who might die from afterburn. A lot of frags eventually have that pyro rush coming in for Velocity, but they haven't kept the point yet. And a huge headshot there from Milchman onto Ixie. But in the midst of this, Velocity haven't actually capped the point. They've taken a hugely long time to do this after that distraction.
Yeah, huge.
So this might be costly.
Migman does not get the short round, deals with that quickly enough. Pretty important, Migman. Having a good old time right now on the sniper class, so they need to keep track of him right now. That was pretty impressive, this whole sequence here. And Olga back to Solly now.
Double sticky though from News going to kill any sort of Fangirls aggression. I think Olga might actually get his pick on the seal on the flank here as well. That's going to be 3 players down. Milchman, I think, just about in spawn area.
Can he get it? He will get the sniper, but no, CJ solves it out. Really nicely done by the medic, and Raf not able to get this final blow. That would have been huge demoralizer. Would have wasted 45% Uber.
But News holding down this entire choke with his class, trying to get some damage, and Yak appears out of nowhere into his view. He could get piped as well, but it's actually going to get cleaned up by Ixie on this left side. Vanguard seems to be really committed on this right-left side push here on the Velocity side, trying to really commit themselves into it. Could be costly, but eventually they're going to scatter a bit. They're trying to get some reply flags of their own with News down, I think. So yeah, definitely even fights here. No demo man on either side, so it's going to come down to the sniper fights again, I think. Uber's coming up from both teams right now into this crucial mid-fight, has to be said. They're going to be walking in right now. A lot of flashes actually on the side of Honey there. It's going to be costly potentially for this later fight. They got Longboy trying to get some sort of sniping onto Yak there, but a lot of cap time on the side of Fangirls. A huge headshot there from Crayon getting onto CJ. That's going to be a medic down, but eventually they do get the cap time though, which is all the more important. They're going to have the cap time to win on King of the Hill.
And it was such a close one as well, because just moments after Migman took his life, so just a nice little headshot, like train from one to the other sniper. But Crayon taking the better end of that, and with that heals up already on the field, obviously, for Velocity, with the medic never dying. And they're trying, but Crayon gets shot down, sniper down, makes it a lot more sketchy, and Disney Fangirls is so aggressive, this guy's taking so much damage to the other team, Jack, or Joseph even, cleaning up for them as well, 3 down. Making this contestation end pretty quickly, and CJ is on the crit squeak.
Yeah, quite an interesting choice into this crucial moment of the fight here. Eventually, Velocity are going to have their Uber ready. So it's probably going to come down to this Chris push, I think. I think Yak's going to be key for this push here coming in. We've got Raf jumping in very deep onto this point right now. A huge headshot again from Milchman. The air headshot's going to clear him up, and the crits is going to come in on the right side now for Fangirls. Not much point presence here though, however. A lot of very scrappy fighting here in this midpoint. Going to be a lot of frags going away for Velocity right now, and actually going to start to get the cleanup. Milchman's going to try and walk forwards and trying to get some sort of damage in, but I think it might not be enough here. They're going to start walking forwards here. Lou's knocked down to very low HP, and actually Milchman's going to pick up Crayon as well. Raf in behind though, trying to get some rockets in onto this midpoint. Eventually going to get the clean up from Ixie with the assist there, and Ixie's going to try and clean up this whole mid. Yak with another clutch pipe as well, but Raf just needs to try and finish his cap here. CJ's trying to get some arrows in. We've got Olga for support as well. It's going to come down to this last fight, I think, to determine this round here, but I think it's not going to be enough eventually. News is going to come in late as well. It's just very hectic stuff in this last. CJ gets picked off by Crayon as well on the point, and another headshot from Crayon onto Toast. Trying to win this round for this team right now. Billjack coming in, trying to get onto some purchase onto Honey. He actually might get the frag here as well. They've got to be mindful of the point right now. A lot of cap times going their way. They've still got 18 seconds to repair from this, but Fangirls just desperate not to lose this right now. Eventually, Yaks will get picked off, and that's going to be a cap.
That's enough for one spawn wave. They have one shot at this and only one.
Absolute mayhem on that this point. So much plays left back and centre there. And it's going to be coming down to this last push. We've got the scout rush coming in on the left side, trying to get some purchase onto this point right now. Get the crucial overtime. Eventually they're going to get this, but they've got to make sure they stay on it, otherwise they're going to potentially lose this. We've got Philjack walking in the right side right now. A crucial sniper pick. It's just general chaos at this point. So much spam going the back away, but there's so much cap time for Fangirls. It's two up right now with the respawning Milchman. Eventually going to be cleaning up Yak. It's going to be this late overtime. Milchman might be coming in very late. He's going to try and walk in. He jumps over the point and eventually gets poked by News. And that's after all that, it's going to be a round for Velocity EU. What was happening there? There were so many plays left, back and centre.
That was weird, and the weirdest thing that I want to point out is people going sniper when in overtime. That's just like why? Why are you doing this to your team? Just go scout, just go solly. I don't care. But no, the sniper class it is, and eventually it worked out. Qual coming in clutch. And it worked out, I guess. Velocity taking the first round, somehow.
Yeah, I mean, Fangirls had such a cap advantage coming up in that, and the time advantage as well. They had everything in their hands, and it just slips in the way. And now we're going to come in the second mid-fight, immediately getting some frags of their own here. Honey just about surviving on the 100 HP, just getting the spam out. And he's going to be forced back from that sighting of the sniper from the Milchman, who's on the roll, has to be said. A lot of frags coming through, and Crayon as well. They've been crucial picks for their team.
Milkman just ever so slightly out on top in head-to-head here, just taking Crayon's life ever so slightly more often than the other way around, and against a team that just heavily relies on their sniper, it just puts such a dent in their abilities to play this the way they want to. It just really hurts, especially on these mid-fights.
And Crayon's going to get that crucial pick onto the Milchman in the start of this fight right now. Toast really deep onto News, actually going to get a killing meat shot onto him, and that's going to be an Uber for both teams coming out right now. Slightly better for the side of the Velocity, as we said, and Olga's going to get a clean up onto Toast, and Viljack as well. Nice stuff from him, getting those shots out, as the rest of Fangirls tries to recuperate, but it's not going to be enough. A big steal's going to die here as well, getting the clean up from XC. A lot of work done by the scouts here, as they look to get this mid-cap.
Yeah, nice little exchange going in the favor of Velocity for now, able to get the sniper in a much more comfortable position to just sit back and hit some shots. But obviously, Product, you don't want to just sit back on the offensive side, you need to contest, and this defense is coming forward. You have slightly bad, but nobody has yet, so just not worth it. And Crayon is the one to hit the first shots here, nice sticky trap as well by News, and the people on the point are just getting baited. Eventually Milk again wins the sniper fight, but way too late at this point.
Yeah, I think Fangirls may be putting too much faith into DuMmTm despite his kills. I think they're getting a bit baited out of position now and just like getting generally spammed by the other class, as Velocity can just like walk forwards and get loads of damage onto them, like even off the sniper from Crayon. And actually looking for a forward hold here on this right side right now. Toast is going to be coming in deep, and the Uber does come out on the side of Velocity here. Going to be soloing onto Raph mostly. Eventually going to actually drop there. Olga's going to get a clean up onto Toast on the flank right now, as the rest of Fangirls try to come up onto this cliff area to get some sort of push going.
Yeah, they were so focused on the sniper and main that they didn't see people coming out of the door in front of them, so that made the exchange go quite a bit better for Disney, and it keeps going. Milkman time and time again just getting the better end of Crayon. Olga dying here as well. 2 down, not really a great position to take the fight anymore, so they're just backing off. Disney takes the point for now.
Yeah, a lot of these fights have been down to the general sniper presence, like affecting their sort of pushes, and they're going to be stacking up on this cliff area on the side of Velocity, trying to get something going. We're going to have Ixie probably leading this charge here onto Yak, but Sticky's at the front here, not going to be looking right now, as Milchman's going to be walking in. A body shot onto Honey, that's going to be no medic, and a headshot onto Crayon. He is going huge. Milchman's going to be trying to clear up the rest of his team. Ixie, the only one that's surviving, eventually he gets cleaned up, and that's going to be a full wipe.
Complete destruction, nothing else can be said, and Disney are gonna be fairly happy about that. Now it's their time to go for any attempt of a forward hold. Let's see how long this can last. Oh, they're getting first one here. Get one onto Crayon.
Yeah,
but on the other side, they're bursting out.
Yeah, Velocity replying to the forward hold the proper way, having the Pyro coming walk forwards to try and reflect anything on the right side, and the rest of the team looking to hold forwards and commit with Pyro actually on Olga. Olga is known for his pyro plays, it has to be said, and it's going to be trying to walk in here. A lot of the detonator spam on his side as well, just setting everyone ablaze. You're going to see a body shot there from Milchman as well onto Ixie, and potentially get more. He's going to be looking onto Raph right now, but eventually he's going to miss that. He sees the head of it, and he doesn't. He didn't actually see it. He's going to be generally get some spam out, but eventually he's going to be backed off and getting some heals. As the rest of Fangirls looking to play this passively on the cliff side.
Yeah, the idea behind the pyro here is that the detonator can safely set people aflame from far back, and since like a year and a half or something, this flame damage reduces health, so that's the idea here, to just have worse heals on the other team. But CJ doesn't care, he just takes the work exchange, can't burn if you're invincible, so they're taking the fight to them. But Seal is the first one to go down, and they already have to abandon so much positioning.
The control point is being captured.
And Raph is going to get the flank pick on the toast there in the midst of all that fighting, so it's going to be 2 down from the side of Fangirls. No reason to try and reply to this. And Milchman down the very low HP. He's going to be careful not to get cleaned up. Ideally does buy the scout with Ixie. Good stuff from him, gets that crucial pick. It's actually going to try to go for more. He's in really deep on this cliff area, 14 HP. Eventually going to get cleaned up on the rocket from Seal there, as we're coming to the 45 seconds now on the side of Velocity, as the rest of Fangirls is trying to get some sort of purchase onto this point right now. We've got Toast walking forwards, rest of the team trying to get on right now, despite the spam from News trying to deny anything. And eventually, I think they should be able to get this cap right now. Indeed they do, despite the Olga aggression. And Viljack on the backside is getting into Honey. Huge stuff from him, trying to walk behind there. And that's going to be a med down for the side of Velocity. But
they need to be careful, they're 3 down, and CJ is not quite that healthy, only 100 HP. Was a little bit less just a second ago. And he has 5 people around that are actively looking to kill him, so need to be careful. Ixie's on him, he's burning as well. He just popped preemptively, not taking the risk here. But onto Watt, they find some kills. News down, Olga down. That's nice, Raph. Also gets themselves in a little bit of trouble here, only at the expense of their own sniper's life. So they're getting the point for just a little bit longer, and it's getting close to down to overtime here.
yeah, a crucial stage of the match right now, and Yak doing some very good work getting those 2 picks. So it's going to be crucial for the side of Fangirls to try and take this round right now. We've got the rest of Velocity trying to walk on his left side right now. News trying to get some sticky spam. Ixie taking the main run of this cap time right now, as they're going to be generally uncontested actually, and they should be able to get this cap. Ixie generally unscathed.
Yeah, not that many lives taken, 1 down each, but that also means Disney have the capabilities to just come back in and try to fight this, and so they try. Take all your knife, that's 2 down right now with Raph dying earlier in this worst spawn, obviously now that they have the point on Velocity. So Disney just keeps on going, get News. Ixie goes up close, but there's so many people around, nobody to help Ixie.
And he's stuck at 94%, he can't help
so
it. Ixie, he's going to be so close now. 99% not enough.
That is the round.
If that Uber came out, it might have delayed it for some respawns, but just not enough. 99% there.
Yeah, Ixie was staying alive for so long that at the end he almost made it happen.
But just not long enough, and now it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, Milkman popping off helps so much, keeping people in check. And look at that, no sniper on the field anymore for Velocity.
Could be looking to do this the hard way perhaps, and they need to get in the shot there onto News already, as it's going to be generally spammed out. A lot of focus there from the side of the flank there, getting onto Milchman, and generally not a lot of other frags going the way of Velocity. You've got Olga picking up another kill, and News getting clean up onto Milchak as well, and it's going to be a comfortable mid-win here for Velocity.
Yeah, really nice damage coming out of Velocity, taking a lot of spam just in the right directions to take people low. Barely getting the better end here, and with worse respawns, that means just about a player ad here with no demo on the field right now on Velocity. Disney trying to take the spotlight into them. They're getting some space out of it and a lot of damage as well, but Viljack is slightly overcommitting to it, wanting the kills on weak players, but those are getting out, and who exchange it is at the end of that attack. Or Joseph dies as well.
Yeah, it was coming out on both teams right now, but Olga getting a lot of cleanup here. It's quite strange seeing Olga actually switch to Scout right now. We saw him start playing Soldier earlier, but he's actually doing really well. He's getting the 6k right now of the Scout picks.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, Crayon Soldier, so they probably didn't have the time to coordinate them switching classes again, and it is lineup it is now.
I wouldn't blame Olga, who's doing a stellar job at the moment right now. As the rest of the Fangirls try to come in onto the left side, but I'll see quite scampered on the right side right now. As the rest of the team trying to come in, we've already got...
Raph from behind takes down Milkman really early, but not enough. Yak, Joseph with the pipes, onto Honey. Everybody just going ham right now on Velocity, trying to take what they can, and a lot it is. Only Toasted Seal surviving for now.
Eventually going to get cleaned up there by the soldiers of Raph. Coming up very strong there, and still going to be a cap for the Velocity.
Yeah, they need this very desperately. They abandoned the sniper, and Milkman shows them why just winning these fights over and over again on the sniper class, putting up so much trouble against a team that wants to rely on it. See the sticky trap, not in time, can't get out of there. Disney now without a sniper, already on a point though, committing onto it with the 2-player ad they just had. And Draft going down here helps the situation, certainly, but not for long enough. Velocity comes back in, puts up a fight, no sniper sideline to worry about.
Yeah, we're still positioned on the right side there, getting ready for Crayon to walk in, and it's going to get that kill. But the cap does go out to the side of Velocity right now, so probably crucial to get this extra time on here. As the rest of Fangirls try to reclaim this cap right now on the left side. A lot of picks actually going their way. As they
Joseph just piping down everything. Just everything dies to the Blue Devilman's pipes, and that was so huge for them. That just puts them at full Uber ad now, which is worth so much on product. Because if the other team doesn't do anything non-Uber, they just waste a solid 40 seconds. And on this
nice headshot as well from Milchman. He has been player of this map so far. So many headshots coming out from him, and nearly got the shot there onto Honey as well. He's going to be peeking as well. But be careful not to do this again. He's playing with fire, Honey, right now. Eventually he's going to get away, skip him. It's like a big bomb right now from Raph trying to get onto Milchman. As the rest of the team coming, a huge headshot there onto Noobs, and nearly gets one onto Honey as well. Milchman is popping up, and the pan kill. What is this man doing? He's an animal.
And the Uber just destroys him up front as well. In the meantime, everybody just going in for the kills, and they are getting them. Disney Fangirls now ahead time-wise, even if just barely. The time keeps ticking in their favor. Slight ad here, about 30%, a little bit less I think. So it's all going according to plan.
Yeah, Fangirls really playing on the back of the sniper right now. I can't really have enough words to describe it. And he's trying to look for more blood as well. Like, surely this man can't do enough. Lucy's going to drop down. Nearly gets the belly shot there onto the side of Milchman. As the rest of the team scampers left side, they know that a sniper is on the cliff and they don't want to have anything to do with him. As the rest of the team now tries to get on this point right now. Quite a lot of frags coming in. And Raph essentially trying to get onto Milchman. A lot of time actually on the side of Fangirls to try and fight this off. Milchman eventually going to get clean up onto Raph as well. On the 5k currently, trying to walk in, nearly getting the shot onto Ixie as the rest of the team tries to walk in and just stands still, gets the clean up. Milchman is just popping off.
I think there's currently 2 people with 6ks in this game, which is Jack and Milkman, just both tearing them apart on Velocity. Not getting out of that one alive. They have stepped up the game so much, and Velocity is just struggling so hard with the sniper and everything surrounding it.
Yeah, Milchman positioned on his left side right now, trying to get some more scopes in. News gets to pick onto Joseph though eventually, and while Jack tries to walk in on the left side and get another pick onto it. News once again stationary as the rest of the team generally scampered on this midpoint. A lot of players trying to dive in and trying to get this cap time. Very crucial stages right now, and Toast trying to make the most of it, getting 2 kills, but eventually Milchman does go down finally, and that's going to be the cap there for Velocity.
And that is one hell of a time to pause the game, I would say.
Yeah, I need a breather after that.
That was something. Disney Fangirls looked like a completely different team from the first map here, and Milkman putting up such a huge performance, and not just him, everybody surrounding him makes it happen for him as well every time he is able to get some shots off. So stuff went really well for them this round, and they were close to first spawn obviously, and it's already tied 1-1. So they are in prime position to take this. Just lost a point. But both medics died. Honey will have very slight advantage. Nobody's quite with him yet. So this will be interesting. Obviously, with the pause, you can't really tell the spawn times anymore because those just disappear, unfortunately. At least on my end. Maybe some other HUDs can fix it, but yeah, it's hard to tell how exactly this will end up. Velocity have so much struggle. I think at this point it's fair to say if they ever lose the point again this round, it's probably like completely over. Actually, I don't know the times. Was it overtime when it started? I think it did. Never mind, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Then I retract my statement, and they need to put up a huge defense here.
Yeah, indeed, and Velocity needs to find some way to deal with Milchman appropriately. Either manage to get some soldiers in there while the scouts try to walk forwards, or just anything really to try and deny him. He's certainly being the elephant in the room in terms of their strategy.
Yeah, and they're making damn sure that he stays like much safer at the beginning. And there we go, pause continues. We'll see who dropped in about a minute, but for the time being, Velocity takes the point, has slightly worse respawns, so Disney will come back in here with all the might they have up on the field already.
Yeah. And actually we're going to see Milchman back on the Soldier, so no sniping shenanigans from him, and eventually actually 2 players go down on the side of Velocity, but Milchman trying to make the most of it, getting the pick onto Olga, but not going to be enough I think. And I guess it's a cleanup fragment to do, so maybe he can invest a bit, but eventually it's going to be a full wipe.
Yeah, nicely baited everybody on a point, barely, but it did work for them time-wise, so full wipe once again, putting Honey and Velocity in general off of starting this fight with worse respawns, now in a much better position with Uber ahead, and only 1 down right now, will spawn any moment. Honey just needs to get this Uber.
Yeah, this should be the time when Velocity tries to reclaim the deficit. Huge bomb in actually from Milchman trying to get in, but eventually gets cleaned up, and Crayon gets back as well. But the med down on the side of Velocity, that's going to be crucial for this next fight, as the rest of them try to make the most of it, but still getting clean up onto Crayon as well. 3-on-3 with heals on the side of Fangirls. Toast trying to walk in now, getting onto News, and Raph left at 45 HP. It's just about 50 HP between these 2 players, and eventually they're going to get cleaned up. Toast with another clean up onto Olga, and Raph gets cleaned up as well. And that's going to be another round for Fangirls. They're trying to bring this back.
That was a really strong round from professional Disney Fangirls, something that they really needed. Both first rounds were really close. This one was a dominant showing, and they need another one of this to stay in this, and Velocity needs to be able to break this sniper threat in front of them, and they decide to switch back to Crayon sniping.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, I've been remembering to pause in chat, so I don't know if
the fight continues on the point. Both them taking a fight into each other. News skips Joseph, just goes straight for the medic, takes them out, but the fight still goes on. Honey needs to escape with his knife. Jack doesn't quite get him, neither does Joseph. Crayon is still sniping up on the front side, gets the better end in the sniper fight, and Olga cleans up. Lonely Toast behind. Eventually this will go Velocity's way.
Another sack headshot there onto Yak. Now it's going to be Crayon's turn to try and take the sniping spoils. He's been jealous of Milchman. He's going to try and get some kills of his own. And interesting, he's on the cleanest carbine, so probably looking to get maybe some cleanup crits, perhaps.
Well, they won't see that one coming, that's for sure.
But anyway, Fangirls looking to try and repush this. And Milchman immediately with another headshot onto News. That's going to be a man down for the side of Velocity as the rest of the team come in right now. And Milchman with another headshot onto Crayon, 2 picks for him as the rest of the team try to walk in. You're going to be the Ubers on the side of Ixie, and lots of scouts trying to rush down CJ. CJ desperately trying to get back into spawn and just about makes it. Toast getting the cleanup as well onto Ixie as Raph gets an exit frag onto Seal. Still
Toast just sneaks up to them and they were distracted. Didn't see it coming. They get completely cleaned up. Honey down, Raph down, Ixie down. Olga sneaking behind lines, distracting a little bit from taking the point here, but they don't need to care too much because Seal is at spawn. Will take Olga's life and the point now finally. Cap by professional Disney Fangirls with only 1 minute off the clock on Velocity's end.
Yeah, Crayon trying to escape this scout regression here from Viljack, but he's eventually going to get support from his team. And he's going to be trying looking into this cliff area, trying to see any sort of players that might peek their little heads out. Not going to be the case at the moment, as the rest of Velocity try to get position for this person. An Uber actually on the side of Fangirls there. I don't know if it was a force or not, but News going down into that exchange. And Milchman getting an exit frag onto Rap as well. So just generally scrappy stuff on this. And the katana kill from Yak onto Crayon? What?
As a katana demo man on product specifically, I approve of that. Nice little health bonus there for him. And why not, I guess? And they keep control of the point. However, Honey has a little bit of an advantage to work with now. So, despite the dominant performance, they need to be careful. At least.
Now, Raph's going to try to jump in on his right side, getting some picks onto Seal, but eventually he's going to be backing off. And a headshot now to Lone Boy, trying to get some headshots of his own. That's going to be a scout down. He sees the head of Milchman, but doesn't quite manage it. As the rest, Viljack actually on his high position here, trying to get some sort of precision suppression fire. Ixie going to be walking into Milchman, denying that slight progression, and they get the cap as well.
Joseph jumps in.
Yak is in
can't
so
land
deep,
any shots quite yet.
Honey's just so deep. He's still going for it. Yeah, he is committed. Honey still isn't there. Eventually,
Honey eventually forced that. Nobody came back in time. I can't blame Honey too much for that. And props to Joseph for sticking to that one. And it works out in the end. Gets the force, and they really needed that one. Otherwise,
Joseph wants the force.
He would face off against the Uber team on the point. Never a good spot to be in. Now they are the ones with the Uber and in prime position to just retake this very quickly.
Yeah, once again going for this cliff push here with the rest of the team. Probably going to be using on to Yak, I'd imagine, or potentially Toast, and eventually they do use on Yak. The Scout's going to blow up as well, while Milchman's on the back lines looking to try and get some sort of positioning for some headshots, but the rest of Velocity have just walked out. Yeah, the rest of Velocity really good at escaping there, but Wheeljack actually onto Honey now, trying to get some picks, but he's going to eventually get cut down by Olga. The rest of the team's going to be walking forwards. Milchman on the rock now, gets a nice headshot there onto Crayon, trying to get some picks onto him. Ixie gets the exchange onto Toast as the rest of the team tries to walk in. We've got Soldier, I think, on the right side trying to jump in really deep. He gets juggled up, eventually gets a clean up onto Ixie, but not enough. 3 players still up on the side.
Huge damage for Raph and News. Just News up front, walking forward with Raph jumping behind, distracting people, dealing a lot of damage. Works perfectly. Late jump denied as well by Seer. Now, from Seer by Ixie, I should say, this way around. And had kills just enough people to take this point for now. Uber up for Honey. Everybody throwing themselves
huge bomb, but eventually the headshot there from Crayon clearing him up. I think Yak was trying to go for another force, and the rest of the team's trying to follow up. Milton eventually gets a pick on to lose though. That's going to be a demo man down for the side of Velocity. So he tried to claim the moves to this. A lot of the Fangirls players actually stacked up in this cliff area once again. And Toast is going to get a pick onto Ixie, but immediately with the exchange from Crayon onto the Wheeljack. And now they're going to try and walk forwards with this Milton sniper. I hear a headshot ringing out as well as the rest of the team walks forward. Toast will clean up. And another headshot there from Crayon. He wants this team to go Prem. He's trying to do so much for them.
Yeah, he is such a key player for them at the moment. Had some trouble earlier to compete with Milkman. Has a slightly better life this round, I should say. Crayon, however, quickly taken down by Wheeljack, who also wants some more. Gets onto Honey, doesn't quite get the kill. But in control of the point still, Disney Fangirls taking a lot of damage from Velocity, just committing from all different directions here. So much damage onto them, is so weak, but Milkman still sniping. Eventually the Uber gets forced out of CJ on just 40 health.
Yeah, Milton's still surviving there, so there's still a threat of the sniper there for Velocity to worry about, as Olga's going to be walking forwards onto the seal, trying to deny him from getting any presence onto this point. As Velocity looks to recap this, but a headshot from Milton's going to deny that cap type. That's going to be probably forcing another scout to try and commit to this cap. But now the Fangirl scouts are trying to counter themselves, trying to deny this cap, just about on the cusp of being capped by Velocity. As the rest of the team try to walk forward, but CJ nearly getting caught out there actually for the stickies from News, and News does get a pipe onto Wheeljack as well. So just generally scrappy stuff, and a huge bomb in from the side there on the flank of Fangirls, but eventually the cap is going to go the way of Velocity. A huge headshot there from Milchman actually, point blank onto Ixie, and it's going to be a scout down as the rest of the team tries to follow suit. But a lot of players down on the side of Fangirls, so it looks like they're going to try and calm down the situation.
Unfortunate that they are forced to back off. It was ever so slightly slower fight. They were able to just tank this in and win the fight by better spawn times, but shouldn't quite be now Honey in prime position to have this duo make some work happen, as CJ doesn't quite have yet.
Yeah, this is potentially tying the course of this round. It's going to come out on the side of Velocity. CJ trying to juke around. He's on 96%. He could potentially get this in time, but eventually gets cleaned up by Ixie. That's going to be a medic down for the side of Fangirls as the overtime now comes in. But already a lot of players down on the side of Fangirls. They've got Toast actually with the cleanup. They might actually be able to pull this off. We've only got Olga on 21 HP. They're trying to reclaim this. We've got the sniper.
Oh, they're delaying the cap time so they get better spawns. Ooh, Joseph doesn't quite get it though. I see Olga behind as well. Need to take care of him quickly. That is a nice and early kill for this just 15-second fight.
Yeah, crucial stuff coming up here. I mean, if Fangirls get this, they've won this map, and we're going to take it all the way into the final map with Gully Wash. If not, Velocity are going to bring it through the deciding round of this very hectic map, it has to be said. And now the rest of the team trying to come in. 2 frags immediately on the side of Fangirls. That's going to be crucial for this fight. But immediately the reply from Velocity coming in, and they're going to get this cap.
And they're just on the point and nobody's there.
It's going to be the deciding round coming in on this huge map, it has to be said.
P, where are you? Oh no, they just tried to play the long con, but they just didn't have the time.
Yeah. I know we've been hyping up the Cyphers a lot, but I have to mention Olga is currently on 99 points.
Well, one more round, both snipers back on the field. Crayon against the Bigman is the main battle here that will help out either side tremendously if it goes their way.
Yeah, just general spam coming in from both sides here, and immediately the headshot onto News once again. News has been having a dreadful time on these bids, getting instantly picked off by the sniper. But now Velocity trying to reply with fags of their own. Milchman is down, so that's a key pick for them, as well as Joseph. And Ref's going to be on the back lines trying to get the CJ. He gets the pick, and Wheeljack's knocked down on very low HP. Nearly gets the follow-up rocket there from Raf, but eventually going to get picked down by Wheeljack. And we've got Steel on the back lines actually going for a big bomb, trying to get on this point. Eventually gets cleaned up by Ixie though. And it should be actually Velocity even already on that mid.
Yeah, eventually these mid fights are going Velocity's way, and they struggled with them quite a bit. This time working out much better, but just because they don't have Uber, Disney Fangirls don't really feel like they are forced to stop going, and they just go in aggressive to get the force out of Honey. Do get that at the expense of a few lives, but that's the risk you are taking here. As long as CJ gets out, all that you want has been accomplished in this situation, and he does fairly safely. back at spawn. People are still dying all over the place, which is unfortunate because now we're getting to the territory of just the late deaths from the rest of the team. So now they're just 4 up in a position where they are probably just wanting to take a fight properly, but can't really. And Toast dying here super late as well, or super early I should say, in this new fight. Rather just stops it from getting started entirely, and at this point they need to just wait for numbers again.
Yeah, Miltram back on Soldier once again, so probably looking for some sort of classic push coming on the left side. They have a huge time deficit as it is of about a minute, and Miltram coming on the left side, trying to get onto Honey right now. Nice rocket onto him, tries to get the follow-up, but not quite enough.
Crayon
Honey just
gets
about
CJ just with a body shot out of nowhere.
That's going to be a med down for the side of Fangirls, and potentially on the course from all, just misses that shot onto Seal there. He's going to be looking for another pick perhaps on one of these soldiers. Seal's going to be jumping back. Oh, lovely headshot there from Crayon. It's just insane, but Wieldjack in as well onto Honey, but eventually gets cut down. What are these sniper plays from this pirate duck, man?
Yeah, everybody's just popping off, and they need to. The better performance here will decide so much, and right now it's going just back and forth, and at the moment it's going better for Velocity. Already gotten down to half-time on the point with Uber as well. Yeah. They struggled so much the last 2 rounds, but at the moment they have.
But remember, this is a crucial round for them as well. If they win this, they qualify for the Premiership, and Fangirls are not down to Div 1. Big bomb there for Seal, immediately getting onto Crayon. That's going to be a sniper down, while Joseph actually dies to his own pipe for some reason, as the rest of Velocity try to come in.
Well, he forced, so that's excusable at least. Seal is behind, but Olga is on his tail. Wants to get the kill before he can spawn camp his sniper. That has been accomplished. Olga on a 7k this life. That's the performance you want to see. And CJ is already under heavy fire here, but he needs to get his Uber first.
I'd just say these logs are going to be huge either way, but now Fangirls trying to get some sort of claim onto this point right now. We've got Yak very deep on the left side trying to get some pipes in, and actually Wieldjack doing most of the work getting 2 picks in there, but immediately the reply from Velocity, 3 quick kills coming out, as well as the headshot from Crayon, and it's just 2 up on the side of Fangirls right now. It's just CJ and Seal trying to make the most of this point. Eventually going to get denied out. CJ trying to eventually going to get onto this grass area, but now crucial stage for Fangirls. They got to try and recap this as soon as possible, and I think they are doing that as well.
Yeah, and Rob dancing at the point though, just distracting them and keeping CJ's life in danger the entire time, prevented them from just standing safely on the point. So this actually for even just a few seconds, that's already helpful. Down to 21 seconds left for Velocity, still 2.5 whole minutes for Disney Fangirls, and the repush is already on our hands here.
Yeah, big drive pushing coming from Velocity right now on this left side right now. A lot of frags as well. This could be absolutely crucial for this next cap. They're going to be stacking it right now. Crayon's still again on this China area. As the rest of the team are really deep onto Cliff actually. They don't want any players escaping from the other team.
Joseph pipes are so crucial there. CJ got mildly stuck in the corner there for half a second, and it could have been such a big deal, but Joseph diffuses the situation with some nice little pipes on everybody, crossing onto his medic. That means Uber and is up, even just a slight one, off of the depths as well for week 6 right now. This will help so much.
Yeah. But initially, Velocity going to have none of that. They were very passive and actually going to be using onto Olga, but the point gets capped out from the side of Fangirls, and that's going to be crucial for this time period, I guess. Uber does fade out, and actually the news goes down to the spam from Toast. As the rest of the team trying to hold forward overtime right now. This is crucial. This will determine Premiership, but eventually the cleanup's coming in the way of Fangirls. Wieldjack's onto Raph right now, trying to get this cleanup onto him, and Honey's in on point right now, trying to walk in. He juggles up Wieldjack off the point as Longboy tries to get some sort of presence on as well. They're so close to being capped right now.
Here come the spawners. News up and Raph up, just throwing themselves at the point, but they're not hitting the shots they need. Disney Fangirls are staying in this for another few minutes.
The scout aggression trying to come in right now, trying to make something out of this, but it's not going to be enough. I think Fangirls still have. They are clutching this at the skin of their teeth.
90 seconds left, and neither team really has much of any Uber charge up. CJ switches to Quid, which is really smart in this situation. The Uber takes 40 seconds. They have a win of 20, so this will cut this down to the wire.
Yeah, it's going to encourage so much aggression as well because of how much cap time there is already. And already both scouts on point, they're going to get this!
That's it!
Velocity are going into the Premiership.
That is our winner. That was a game and a half.
I'll say.
I look at my scoreboard and I see 3 people with over 100 and 2 people left, so who knows?
I also see Olga with full dom, so he must have popped up. I'm really curious to see these logs actually. I want to see these numbers.
Game, dude. Holy heck. Let's see what we got in terms of numbers. We were talking about numbers, so let's just get straight into numbers. I don't tend to do that, but for a game like this, sure, why not? And once again, can't be understood that congratulations to Velocity EUSports EU Edition to take the final Premiership slot for Season 30 of ETF2L. But with that, let's just look at some numbers and see what we got. I see some big ones. Let's sort by the damage. And Olga with 13k damage, 382 DPM. This was a really long one as well, because it went to like overtime, multiple times, long overtime at that. So it actually was a 36-minute game. Well, pause helped a little bit, but that was not a 6-minute pause. So that was a really long product game.
But
yeah, there we could see it 8-minute 40 round on the first one. And yeah, the final on the fourth one as well, a really long one, 2 over 8-minute rounds. Don't see that all the time, and in the end, Velocity able to clutch it out just barely. And the final round really decided like the difference here. It might look somewhat more convincing on Velocity in the end, but yeah, the final round there, it was just a little bit more demanding, but it really made the difference there in terms of stats, so you can't focus on that too much.
I'll just, I think we hyped up the snipers a lot. I think it's worth pointing that out. Milchman there with a huge 29 headshots across those rounds.
And he had a total of 3 solo kills as well, so can't ignore that. Same with Kern, he had 4. So they both tried a little bit, but eventually went back to the sniper class, and both of them had some intense performances on this map.
Yeah, I think the times he did the switch to soldier actually worked though, because there's normally times when they had a huge time deficit and he did a sort of normal push to try and work it out. And I think they got the cap most of the time because of it. But yeah, huge stuff from both of the snipers as well as Olga as well. Huge numbers from him.
Alright, and I hear interviews on the way, so let's get people in here to hear some opinions from the players. Let's see who we have. We have Joseph, we have News, we have Honey, we have CJ. 2 from each team. Welcome, guys. First off, congratulations to Velocity for taking this nail-biter, and obviously props to professional Disney Fangirls for putting up such a performance against them. But unfortunately, not quite enough.
Not quite.
We tried.
Yeah, that was a game for sure.
Yeah, that was by far the hardest game we've had on product, like since we started playing as a team. You guys made it really difficult.
I think if TFT was product only, then we'd probably be a Prem team. Because last season, like, we scrimmed against quite a few teams, and like most teams we could beat quite easily. So you guys have been like the first team that we haven't been like 100% sort of in control on, I feel. Like, you guys put under quite a lot of pressure. So yeah, like, if it was product only, then we'd do a lot better, but we just need to adapt our intense style on product to other maps, and Snake just didn't go our way today.
I think it's a similar story the other way around as well. Velocity having some really good product games coming into this as well in the head-to-head matchup against you guys, and then this happens. So both of you had to adapt quite a bit how the other team plays.
Yeah, we could tell when they took that, tactical pause.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a team leader. I'm just going to make sure my team's performing as good as they can. And if I need to pause to get everyone on the same page, I'm going to do it. No regrets.
It was good that we did that, because I think it actually changed how we played. And I felt a lot less under pressure when we did something like that.
Well, as long as the pauses stay within the rule set of ETF2L, I think it's fine. And yeah, this was a really hard fight on product. Snakewater, a little bit less so. Velocity under much more control. But this was a tough fight for both sides, going into like 8 minutes and then some for 2 rounds, I think. And some adaptation on both sides. We saw Velocity try out not going sniper for a little while there, but that was not the solution either. So just both teams here pushing each other to the limit was really fun to see.
It's very fun to play as well.
GG's.
Yeah, it's quite good because not many teams want to scrim product. Like, I don't think it's a team thing. I think it's just, like, obviously people want to play 5 CP during the season because that's the standard meta that people play.
There's not
product
enough cuff maps. That's the
yeah,
problem.
so it was nice to actually have a few games of product during the games, because I mean, coming into this, I think we expected Velocity and Bus Crew to obviously be the favourites. We didn't get to play Bus Crew, unfortunately, but it was kind of we knew that we'd have some tough games there, so it was going to be some good intense practice for us. Because I think one of the big problems with our team is that we have some really good scrims against teams that are better than us, but then in officials we just kind of we switch off a little bit. We just kind of turn off.
It's called a mega choke.
Yeah, well, I don't
Giga choke.
Yeah. We just we don't play exactly the same way. And I think Product today was the first time, we actually turned on then. We just weren't awake for Snake Water. We just weren't there already. But yeah, I mean, it was good to have some, we had 3 games over the playoffs. So it's kind of good practice heading into the season. So we're not too disappointed.
Compared to just normal scrims, I guess, you can make the argument that there's at least something on the line. So people will try just that bit harder. And yeah, heading into next season, obviously Div 1 it will be for one team here, Premiership for the other, but obviously not easy season for either of them, with some new maps on the table now as well, with Cardinal being in here and all that stuff.
I'm not looking forward to Cardinal. I'm not gonna lie. I think if we get a bit more practice on it, it'll be nice, but
they shouldn't have put a map that is as broken as Cardinal in this season. It's not necessarily the way it plays, it's the props are just ridiculous. Every single prop you can put stickies in, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some of the traps are just...
I think that they didn't give it much thought before they put it in the season. They went, oh, this is a map that doesn't play complete shit. Let's replace Sunshine. Sunshine, I don't know, I was a big Reckoner fan. Reckoner was fun.
To put things in perspective, we lasted 22 minutes against 7 in a scrim on Cardinal. So, I mean, if they're not wiping us out that quickly, then there's got to be something wrong with them.
That was our first time playing the map ever, and they played it once. So no.
No, you're completely right.
Dab.
You see people struggling with it. It is a difficult thing to do, especially pushing out of last. I don't know if you guys have played it in an official, or obviously in the scrim, but we couldn't push out of last. It's impossible.
I mean, I tried pushing out through a doorway on last, and I was like, oh, this is clearly the exit, and I ended up back on last.
Yes.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, I don't tell you when I make
intentionally
mistakes.
kept that secret, I think.
Yeah, Yak yells too much
The
already. I don't need
difference
to give him
a
more
quick map
reasons.
overview can make. Oh well, we'll have time until upset week happens, which is Product and Cardinal at the same time.
Is there Product and Cardinal on the same week?
Yeah.
Oh no!
There's probably some teams that are already keen looking forward to that one.
Oh dear. Why did ETF2L do this to me?
Well, if nobody has anything else to say, let's just do the shoutouts, and we'll start alphabetically with CJ.
Shout out to the team. Thanks for... We've put a lot of practice, so it's been really good. Proud of the way everyone played, and obviously to the guys that go into Prem, good luck. I think it should be an interesting season. It's got a lot of good teams. And to you guys for casting as well. Thanks for the coverage.
Alright, let's skip over me and Georgebaii next.
Shout outs to my team selected and to Twitch chat.
Alright, Honey.
Obviously, shout out to the team. Shout out to Hysteria and Cool Beans. I hope to see you at LAN. Who else? News for putting in a lot of effort with us doing demo reviews and stuff like that. He's put his brain on the line, I want to say. And I hope that it is going to be a good season, and I'm looking forward to it.
Alright, speaking of him, news.
Shout outs to professional Disney Fangirls for giving us a good game. Shout outs to the team. Shout outs to you guys for casting, and shout outs to Velocity, Kenzie, and Nitro for helping us get where we are.
Woo.
Alright, Yak or Joseph. Nickname.
Don't know. Just shout out to everybody. You all make this shit. Oh, much love.
Alright, and with that, big thanks obviously to the sponsor of next season for the Premiership prize pool, SDN Trading and Scrap.tl, making this big boy prize pool happening for everybody. I think 2,000 euro it is, so that's really generous by our sponsors, and big props to them. I just checked ETF2L, shoutouts to the admins for making the standings or the tables up before the teams have been decided. So shoutouts to Premiership placeholder 1 for making it into Prem. That looks really nice in the standings. You have all the teams, and then Premiership placeholder 1 with an Argentinian flag. Looks really fancy.
Well,
Anyway.
the Falklands are ours.
Oh god.
That's apparently a Highlander team too, so that's interesting.
Oh wait, can I have one more shout out?
Yeah, sure.
Can I have a shout out to Sergio Ramos? Just a legend.
For assassinating Salah.
Alright, and yeah, with that, we'll see you next time whenever the first official of the season will start.